Sometimes you need two things for anything to work. Number one, you need a willing student. As the old saying goes, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So you need willing students. And then number two, you need practical advice. So my advice was, social media is relatively new. Go out, business owners, the average business owner is 60. They're not going to do their Facebook ads. No. If you're not making enough money, you're not leading with reward. Either if you have a 9-to-5 job, you're not getting a raise because your boss doesn't perceive you as rewarding him enough. So if you have a 9-to-5 job and you want to make more money, you have to. Well, SMMA, actually on the trademark, SMMA, Social Media Marketing Agency in the US. And it went so viral because it worked. And at the end of the day, you try different things to teach people, and sometimes you need two things for anything to work. Number one, you need a willing student. As the old saying goes, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So you need willing students. I had built up a big personal brand and people believed me. I had my skeptics and critics, but enough people believed that the impossible. And then number two, you need practical advice. So my advice was, social media is relatively new. Go out, business owners, the average business owner is 60. They're not going to do their Facebook ads. Nope. A lot of people got butthurt when I put a Lambo. I put a Lambo first. I put a cool lifestyle, beautiful women, Hollywood. And people were like, oh, this is blah, blah. And I'm going, but this works. Because what's better, telling a kid, learn your math tables so that you can pass a quiz. You're teaching with pain. You can't, you ask your first question is how to make more money. Isn't that the question? Or how to make money? Yeah. Maybe what I would impart to this audience that's related to my story, but related to your listener. If you're not making enough money, you're not leading with reward. Either if you have a 9-to-5 job, you're not getting a raise because your boss doesn't perceive you as rewarding him enough. Capitalism, for good or bad, is based on the selfishness of the end user. So if you have a 9-to-5 job and you want to make more money, you have to create whatever triggers reward bias, dopamine released in your boss going, I love this person. I need more. I want them to promote, give them a raise. If you're self-employed or thinking of launching your own business, the biggest mistake that the school system does, 5 trillion, is lead with pain. Do this so you don't fail the quiz and I'm your parent or I'm your teacher, I'm putting pressure. Forget that, fuck that. Show a Lambo. Say, I can't guarantee you'll get this, but I promise you the best chance you get at doing this is learn, read, get mentors. So that was my message. And it was a hypothesis I had in 2013 and I tested it and lo and behold, it works. And now so many people are doing it and I see the movement growing of people who are taking back control of their life from the government saying, let's spend this 5 trillion on our own terms, not on a bureaucratic education system that leads with pain. Do this or I'm mad at you. Versus, see this life you want? That guy learned a little math in order to be able to build a business. So study your math. Yeah, I saw once again, books. I read a horrifying stat, which is the average person who graduates college. I'm a college dropout. I didn't have enough money. I remember it was $1,000 to get my textbooks at NC State. And I was like, I don't know where my family did not have $1,000. I'm out. I started my own consulting business. But I had this idea, like books are, the horrifying stat after I didn't go to college was that the average person graduating college doesn't read a nonfiction book on their own for the next 5 years. Wow. They're so traumatized from like textbooks, exams, blah, blah, blah. So I said, how do I make books sexy again? And I said, well, one of the pain points of books is they're too long. So instead of book summaries, I got the authors to summarize their own book. Because some of you are subscribed to book summary websites. I got no hate. They're kind of competitors. But the reason I don't like those is they're hiring random people who don't do great summaries. So with MentorBox, like, what if I got the actual author? Yo, can you give me a 7-minute summary of your book? So making books simpler is higher reward. People don't believe it themselves sometimes. Right. I remember when I started making money, I was like double logging in and out of my website, Bank of America. I'm like, Mark Cuban told me when he became a billionaire, it happened basically overnight because he did this, got paid in Yahoo stock or whatever. And he's like, I sat there and I refreshed. Like my net worth's like 100 mil, 200 mil. And he said, when it hit $1 billion. And I was like, I bet you didn't have, how people talk about motivation. People are like, I need my sleep. I can't stay up all night. If you refresh your screen and you're making 100 mil every refresh, you got all of a sudden people that don't have energy are like, I feel a lot of energy. So 67 steps was simple. There was a stat that I read. They used to say it takes the average human 28 days to change bad habits, right? Like alcoholic, depression. Not that depression's a bad habit, but that's another subject. But new science came out. University of London came out, and it takes about 66 days for the average person to change anything. So I was like, I told my cousin Maya, I'm like, I'm going to launch the 66 steps. She's like, this is America. That sounds too much like 666, the devil. So I'm like, I'm going to add one more for good luck. So that's where the 60s, the power of one more. So all I said was, it was a simple theme. I was like, I'll teach you for $1 a video what my millionaire mentors changed. What changed my life was finding 5 millionaire mentors. Joel Salatin was first. Alan Nation was second. A guy named Mike Steinbach was third. Al Howell was fourth. And it's really way more than 5. But it kept progressing. Now I've had 50 mentors. But those first 4 or 5, one of them that I considered a mentor that I never met was Warren Buffett. So I took these 5 mentors that I had met in person or in books, and I added my own spin to it, and I recorded one video a day that you get. And it's an hour-long video. Maybe it's too long after I say this show. But it's 67 hours. 67 steps was more mindset. But at 67 steps, boy, I just came back from I can't go one place where people are like, yo, there's 67 steps. And every chapter has it's a pretty unique program. I haven't pushed it for years, and my book will be the new updated version. But I always tell people, whether you get my 67 steps or another one, you need, I call it the 5 mentor rule. You need 5 sharp people speaking into your life. It can be a podcast like this, but I recommend at least 2 in person. 2 in person. One can be a podcast. One can be a book. One can be YouTube, whatever. Sometimes I get flack. It's crazy. People give me flack on books. Like, you don't need books to be successful. I'm like, well, do you need mentors? Very few people are so stupid to say you don't need mentors. I mean, the wealthiest, first off, Elon Musk, the richest man in modern history, says what changed his life was a book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy. He said he was super depressed at age 12. It gave him the idea that's now SpaceX. And so a book, his sister recently did an article, said, because I used to say I read a book a day. I would tell people what I do, and people are like, scam, nobody reads a book a day. Well, apparently I'm an underachiever, because Elon's sister just posted, I remember Elon who used to read 2 books a day as a teenager. The reason you need books, by the way, is not because books are good, but because some of the best mentors are dead. I want to go up to every dude who's like, you don't need books. I'm like, let me get this straight. Because most people will say it's good to have a mentor role model, blah, blah. Half the guys that say you don't need books and mentors are a mentor social media influencer, which kind of boggles. I'm like, bro, you got a YouTube channel with fucking 10 million subscribers. You are the thing you're saying you don't need. But anyway, not to digress, you need books because the best mentors, 80% of them are dead. You telling me you don't need to learn anything from maybe the smartest human ever to live, Aristotle? You can't learn anything from Shakespeare, Darwin, Freud, Kant, Spinoza. These people are all dead. In fact, everybody has their dharma. Dharma is, if you're in America, you call it destiny. If you're in India, you call it dharma. And it's an important thing to your first question, how do you make money? You can't chase other people's destiny and dharma because they're making money. Because the ancient Indian principle was, if you're supposed to be a medical doctor, yet you see a tech entrepreneur making money, so you chase them, even if you become a billionaire, because you're not doing your destiny, you will be miserable and you've lost. Is to raise a family and have a $100,000 income. Hopefully I think people should try to have slightly above average income at the minimum. But you have $100,000, you're living out your dharma. You win as much as Elon wins. I'm in business with multiple Forbes list people. They ain't always the happiest people in the world. Right. So lead with reward, both yourself and others with reward, not pain. But also follow your destiny and your dharma. Don't just chase the accomplishments of others.